In today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 interesting facts you wouldn't believe are true. Number 1. The woman who lost her wedding ring and found it 16 years later. A woman in Sweden lost her wedding ring in 1995 while in the process of cooking a delicious Christmas dinner for her family. Now, this woman had looked everywhere for it. She even went as far as to having her entire kitchen floor ripped up in the desperate hopes that maybe, just maybe, she would find it. But the woman wouldn't see the ring again until 2012. Now, where this woman would end up finding her ring is truly unbelievable. She would end up finding her ring in her garden wrapped around a carrot. Now, it's believed that the ring may have been lost when she threw vegetable peels into the garden that were turned into compost. I want to know what you think about this interesting fact down below in the comments. Number 2. The dying wish of the inventor of the Pringles can. Now, these delicious chips that we all know and love have an interesting history. It was in 1966 when Frederick Bauer would develop the genius idea for the company Procter & Gamble, which is a multinational consumer goods corporation, to instead of throwing the Pringle chips into a bag, they should instead stack them on one another in a can. Bauer was so proud of his idea that he insisted he take it to the grave with him. He informed his family members that his dying wish was to be buried inside his proudest invention, the Pringles can. When he died at the age of 89, his family, well on the way to the funeral home, stopped at a Walgreens to buy what would be his burial Pringles can. But they were left with one decision to make. The family had to make the decision of what type of flavor would he like to be buried in. That's when his oldest son, Larry, said, "Look, we need to use the original because he was an American classic." Number 3. A New Orleans hotel offered a free $15,000 stay at their hotel. It was in March of 2009 that the Roosevelt Hotel in New Orleans would decide to celebrate their 125th anniversary with a completely free 7-night presidential suite stay, which would include complimentary private dinners and spa treatments totaling $15,000. But here's what the catch was. This wasn't just any normal giveaway. The prize was only available to the person who returned the most outrageous thing that had ever been stolen from the hotel. Now, that's one way to catch a criminal. Number 4. A country was sold on eBay. Now, there's been some really strange things that have been sold on eBay, from a grilled cheese sandwich that showed the Virgin Mary on it, to a half-eaten French toast sandwich that was eaten by Justin Timberlake. But one of the strangest and most outrageous things that have ever been posted on eBay to be sold was the opportunity to buy New Zealand. Yes, an entire country being sold on eBay. It was in 2006 that a man from Brisbane, Australia, would decide to list New Zealand. The listing would go on to describe it as the dodgiest American Cup winner ever. The auction began to get a lot of attention and interest. The starting bid only started out at 1 cent. Before you knew it, the listing had 6,000 hits and received 22 bids. The price would end up reaching $3,000. Now, after some time, this caught eBay's attention, in which they then decided to pull it down from the site. And an eBay spokesperson would then make a statement saying, "Clearly New Zealand is not for sale." Number 5. A human can swim through a blue whale's veins. Now, with the blue whale being known as the largest creature on Earth that we know of, they can grow to over 100 feet in length and even weigh over 100 tons, which is 200,000 pounds. Their hearts themselves can weigh up to 1,300 pounds and can be the size of a small car. Which, that being said, a blue whale also has massive arteries that are needed to pump their blood from their giant heart, keeping not only their heart, but their vital organs alive. Now, how big are their arteries? They're so massive that a full human can swim through them. Now, that is something I don't really recommend. Number 6. The giant pterodactyls. The discovery was made when these giant remains were dug up in Romania. The remains showed that they were as tall as a giraffe and they would have weighed what they believed to be half a ton. With the F-16 jet wingspan only measuring to around 33 feet, and the pterodactyl's wingspan being 39 feet, it truly makes this reptile of the sky a giant beast. Number 7. The South Pacific Space Graveyard. This one is about a place called Point Nemo, which is located in the South Pacific Ocean and is known to be the furthest place away from any land, which would make it the safest place to welcome anything from space back to Earth. It's known to be the resting place of over 300 spacecrafts and debris associated with space travel. One of the objects resting in Point Nemo is the Mir space station, which was the first ever object to be assembled in planetary orbit by Russian astronauts. Number 8. The truth about broccoli. Now this is one interesting fact that I'm sure you do not know. It turns out that the truth about broccoli is that it was actually created by humans. Broccoli was only created after years and years of breeding select wild cabbage plants. The breeding began around the 6th century BC, and the origin of the name broccoli actually comes from the Italian language meaning flower crest of a cabbage. Number 9. The bulletproof mammal. The next one is super interesting. A man living in Texas decided to fire a bullet at an armadillo one day, and what happened next he never expected. The bullet ricocheted off the shell of the armadillo and came flying back at him, hitting him in the jaw, causing him to have to be emergency airlifted to the nearest hospital, while the armadillo, on the other hand, just walked away without a scratch. Yes, armadillos are in fact bulletproof. Number 10. The Lego Shipwreck. In 1997, on February 13th, a container ship named the Tokyo Express was sailing across the sea when it ran into a massive storm. While battling the big waves, one huge wave crashed onto the ship, causing some of the cargo to become loose and fall off the ship. One of the things the ship was carrying was a container filled with 4.8 million Lego, which was among the 62 containers that fell overboard. The container was opened and the 4.8 million Lego was lost at sea. Now, whenever there is a strong storm, Lego pieces can be found washed up on the shores of Cornwall, located in the United Kingdom. It's said that till this day, the Lego pieces are still washing up on shore. Now I want to know what you guys think about these interesting facts down below in the comments.